there's a lot of misconceptions about money athletes make, right? And as an athlete, I'm glad you're on here because you're not a retiree.
Yeah.
You're a young, aspiring athlete in the
Yeah.
league. Please clarify for youth and adults in regards to this money situation. So, please break down how much of your salary you receive after taxes and agent.
Sheesh. Well, you gotta mention financial advisors too.
Financial advisors, and
Uh,
anything else that you have to pay for
anything
that
else?
left out. Don't put a family in there though.
Yeah, family
Don't put
big
family.
too.
We don't put family in there yet.
I think one. I guess let's start with the basic. We're W-2 employees, right?
So you get the highest tax.
And you get taxed depending on the city you in or the state you in. So, for instance, say we travel to California, and let's say the game check is 60,000. You may see 15,000, 20,000, but because of Cali's, high tax, plus you may get fined.
Hold on, bro. You put me on the game. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That makes sense though, right? Because you
yeah.
get paid for the. That's wild. All right.
So you may get fined. For wearing the wrong socks. You may get fined for having your knee out. You may get fined for making a tackle without your head, and they say your head was in it. So you get taxed for a lot of stuff, or you get fined for a lot of stuff. So you got to be real cautious how you walk around, whether you late, whether you sleeping in meetings. Everything is open. For me, it's what I say for me is going to be the same for every player in the league. It's state taxes, of course. So Ohio, you got city taxes, whether it's Cleveland or Berea, where we practice at. You got, federal G. Listen, federal G, they got federal tax, right? On top of that, they got the federal MWT, which is like the Medicare, right? On top of that, they got the FICA, which is also federal. So federal G. You got a bunch of small taxes that you got to really knock down. I ain't gonna give a number for my joint, but best believe it was 6 figures taxes a year, and that ain't light. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you got family and you got especially guys like me who want to really invest in real estate or own land. You got property tax everywhere. You got HOAs and right. So it's you got to be real wise with your money. And I ain't gonna say I'm one of the wisest guys with my money to a sense of spending, but I will say is I never spend on nothing that's nonsense. So if I'm spending money, I may be spending a lot of money, but that's gonna be on like books, or that's gonna be on like land, that's gonna be on like stuff for the crib, that's gonna be on stuff for like trips, or like stuff that I'm doing in Ghana, or trips for my mental health or something like that down to Jamaica, St. Lucia.
So you just broke down the tax situation, right? And it seems like there's a lot of pressure on athletes to live a certain lifestyle. It's like this. It's this notion of the successful athlete. So it seems to be competition amongst the athletes, and it also seems to be a lot of pressure from family and peers. First thing I want to talk about competition amongst the athletes.
Competition.
Yeah, it seems irrational because your gross, what is on paper versus your net are like two different worlds. But it seems like a lot of people are living based on the gross.
Mm-hmm.
And why is that? Are they not aware of how much money they're actually getting? Or is it just an insecurity thing? Why it's just this conspicuous consumption within their culture?
I think it's about values. We still have a good bit of money, right? Like, let's not act like we broke or something like that, right? There's still a wide amount of money to spend. But it's about values. If a guy values jewelry for jewelry's sake, he'll spend on jewelry. If a guy values buying his mother a Range Rover, then that's what he's gonna do. But if a guy values, let's say, family, right? Family growth, nation building. If a guy values manhood, if a guy values spirituality, if If a guy values economic empowerment, right? All of these different things that make up the full being of what a player is, a student athlete. I still call myself a student athlete even outside of college because I'm still learning, right? I focus on education. That's still a thing for me, right? You still have to be educated nonstop. Oh, you'll get hit over the head, especially. So I would say it's a value thing. I mean, guys live in that arena because their values are in that arena. Like you'll spend wherever your, check this. This is what the scriptures say. I'm gonna pull a little scripture. Wherever your heart is, there your treasures will be also, right? So wherever your heart lies, there your bread gonna be also. So in that very sense, if guys value something, they're gonna be there. Yeah.
And I want to talk about that outside pressure because your information is public information, right?
Yeah.
So people really sit on that number that they see, not equating taxes and other expenditures that you have.
That's what get guys.
How much pressure are on, not even you, I don't know your situation, but just in general, you observe how much pressure are athletes under from friends and family to take care of them financially?
Well, it's like, you have wealth creators and you have wealth managers. And when you are depicted as the wealth creator, coming from a family that has not yet had that wealth creator, all of the stigmas and all of the stereotypes become upon you. Oh, he got money? Okay, cool. You get big ass, like 20,000. It's like, yo, I got a tax, what I'm saying? It's not, what you got, a nonprofit? Can I write it off? Like, what, you start asking questions like that. Big ass, yo, can I get this RV? Like, yo, these RVs taxi. But it's for sure pressure. But you just got to have resources. You got to have a guy on your team that's a no guy, right? That's like, hey, I'll think about it, cause I'm gonna send you to my financial advisor. He gonna check the boxes and usually he always gonna say no, but nevertheless, you gotta have that. That's one thing. A second thing is you gotta learn how to say no to yourself too, because even if they do go ask that no guy, they're gonna come right back to you, and then eventually you're gonna see him in person, and you know what I mean. So like you're gonna have to figure out, at some point to really man up and say, hey ma, or hey dad, or hey cuz, hey extended fam, because everybody seems like they're your family, when you start to make that wealth, and they're like, oh, cuz remember me, I mean, I was, the stigma. But you got to learn how to make your mission the forerunner. If you say, hey, my mission is this, X, Y, and Z, I must build up to this first before I can give you X, Y, and Z. Oh, you got it already. I haven't yet, Mom. I haven't yet, Father. I haven't yet, brother cuz / I don't even know what to call the guy, but, he's saying something. So you just got to figure out how to push your mission in front of what you are doing economically.
And there seems to be another trap when you actually do help. It seems that the help you provide is an ongoing help. So for instance, now if you do help someone get into a house, it seems like you're going to be the person responsible for maintaining the house. It seems like it just seems like a rough situation people are put into.
Well, you have to make that deal with them though. It's almost like it's not a necessary contract, but it's more of a covenant. Now you make covenant with your family members, right? And usually those family members, you would want them to have the same values and principles as you, so that they understand what covenant is what it's going to be about, right? So if I say, hey, I'm gonna give you this house, it's almost like royalties. I'm gonna give you this amount of time to make this, or this amount of time to get this job, or this amount of time to X, Y, and Z, or you have to come work for me and what I'm doing. So it's like, and until you can do this, then X, Y, and Z. So it's a lot of ultimatums, it's a lot of business, because family is business. Business is family, right? A family is supposed to stay busy, business, right? So in that very aspect, you have to turn your family into not only an intimate relationship, but also you have to turn your family into a business family. And I think it's challenging in the earlier years. Me, I'm still working on it. You know, I'm not perfect, but right now I'm trying to create things in places to put people that are constantly asking me for things, so that it does not seem like I'm using it for myself.